Hello and welcome to another episode of Dinked. What a wonderful pleasure it is for me to join Puffin here, and of course I did promise him an intro. So we do have Puffin, a man whose in-game CS skill has the aim of Ray Charles, but the knowledge of Jimi Hendrix. That translates. We'll have to see, but we have got a wonderful episode for you guys today. But this time, it does come with a very, very special treat. Both of us are going to get very, very pissed as we kind of progress through this. You want to tell us what you're drinking today, Puffin?
Yes, I'm drinking the Royal Export.
Royal
Classical
Export.
blue beer.
Lovely.
In Denmark, it's referred to as blue Coke. So,
Oh, right.
yes.
Wonderful stuff. Wonderful stuff. I'm going a bit heavier, I will admit. So, for standard drinking, which is what we'll just be sipping throughout the episode, we have ourselves some Disaronno, which we'll, of course, be having with Coke. Now, unfortunately, that isn't quite enough for me. So what we're going to do is every time something somewhat entertaining happens, we're going to be taking a shot of rakia that's come straight out of Bulgaria. I got this at my first international LAN at Sofia Airport. 2 bottles of it. We're down to about this much. Hopefully, we'll be able to finish it. We'll have to see. Without further ado, Puffin, you got some topics for us you want to cover?
Oh, yes. Coming in here with quarantine cuts, I think we should talk about the Esportal Vac bans, which everyone has been thinking of and talking about lately.
Yeah, without a doubt. And that's a rough one, isn't it? To have your kind of whole basis of an anti-cheat kind of ruined by just everyone getting a vac ban if they use it. So for those who don't know what's happened, essentially anyone using Esportal, they have an external anti-cheat in the same way Face or ESEA do, except Vac, when you boot up CS, detects the anti-cheat, sees it as an actual cheat, and will then go ahead and give you a Vac ban, even though you've done nothing wrong. So that's essentially the premise. I think the most famous case will be Flusher, who got it. However,
Krims as well.
Krims, sorry, not Flusher. My apologies. Krims it was who got it. What's interesting, though, is that a couple months ago, this happened to a lot of players in the Asian scene. Esportal isn't really used by Europeans and Americans, but it's really, really big in Asia. So, again, going to be interesting to see what the kind of fallout is from this.
Also, what's incredible is how fast Krims especially got unbanned after this. Because, like, a lot of the tinfoil hat people just went around like, once a cheater, always a cheater. And even when he's cleared, like, oh, you're still guilty in my book, and all the Reddit witch hunting. It doesn't matter what he's done for like the last 5 years, 6 years in the scene, and how much he's accomplished. Once he gets a vac ban and is cleared of it anyway,
it's over.
It's
for sure.
It's a bit like when normal people get like accused of doing some kind of child pornography or raping, and then they get cleared of the charges, but then people always believe that they still do it, and that they were guilty even though they were cleared of the charges.
What is quite interesting is that usually happens in the reverse way as well. You see a lot of the time people who have been accused of like sexual assault, and it's kind of been proven, but because they have like a zealous following, everyone goes, nah, it wasn't his fault, he also did this, that, the other, and all that other fancy stuff. So I'm kind of interested to see if there is ever a legitimate vac ban into anyone in the kind of scene. I want to see if they'll have a zealous following that will kind of follow them till the end, or if they're going to just be kind of exiled.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of funny, actually. Also, straight in 4 minutes into the episode, and we talk about child pornography. I mean, I think we're setting the standard here. So what's funny as well is like, okay, so if you, the premise is if you have the following, like, there's a famous rock band called Last Train Home, I think. Or Lost Homes, and their main vocalist, lead singer, he got jailed for murder, and people like, well, his music is good, so
I remember hearing a quote really similar to that from a friend of mine. Literally yesterday we were talking about this, and it was, if you can separate the art from the artist, then you can still say in clear consciousness that the music's still good. Because I see a lot of the time, this is happening a lot of historical figures in the UK. I'm not sure how bad it is in Denmark, but there are all these like freedom movements, like LGBT and BLM, who are getting statues of Winston Churchill and just tearing them down. And for me, I just think that's a really cunty thing to do, to be honest, because the premise is that Winston Churchill was a bit of a bigot. Now, my personal opinion is that if you've taken a country through 2 world wars, having fought in one, then having led us through the second one, you know, you're allowed to be a little bit of a bigot. That's my stretch on it. But
that's
again,
history for you.
It's interesting. Yeah, in history, everyone's gonna be a bigot at some point. Like it's trying to separate mindsets, take it out of context of the time, but use it to essentially grief these kind of historical statues. Do you have that at all in Denmark, actually?
Not at all. But when you mention this, I think of this funny statistic about Genghis Khan, that like one out of 200 Asian people like is from has roots from Genghis Khan. So he's just running around fucking savaging women.
What annoys me? I saw a twit longer about how Genghis Khan shouldn't be celebrated, and how he should be, kind of shunned. Like, well, it's a bit fucking late for him to do a twit longer and an apology video, don't you think?
Yeah.
Like, at the time, he was fucking incredible for what he did, which was essentially to conquer everything. I mean, it's not like anyone else did it. Like, the Chinese were already too busy killing each other. The Russians hadn't come out of mud huts at that point. Like, everything he'd done at the time was fairly well respected. Like, standard. He's like, oh, we're gonna go invade, most of the known world. Go for it, son. You can do it.
You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, spot of parents, and that's where it got him. But actually, draw attention away from that. Why that was really interesting as well is how after Genghis Khan died, the kind of predecessors, how hard they fought to keep Genghis Khan's kind of legacy alive without discrediting it. So a lot of the time you see these kind of manipulations where I think China, especially because they were quite far away from the Mongol Empire, they were able to start, kind of rebelling without too much worry. And the Mongols, their worry was if we move the capital closer to China, we lose our identity as Mongolians. But we can't discredit Genghis. We need to keep the, we have to keep the thing together. Random history tyrant.
Yeah. And that's
I could drink to that.
Yeah, that's a history lesson. Cheers.
Yeah. Anyway, back to zealous followings and Vac bans. Right. What are your thoughts on Crims, this ban that you got and then revoked?
Well, I think like when you're clear of charges, I mean you should like be clear of charges. You shouldn't have some follow-up from the community. Yeah. And Esportal themselves actually closed down their services until they find a fix for it through the help of Valve. So it's actually like their entire business and livelihood is at stake right now for the Scandinavian people who works in that office, which is kind of incredible to me actually.
I think it's weird how often people want a kind of, how do I phrase it? How often people want to try and get in contact with Valve for whatever reason, and however Esportal, they have a direct line to just fix something like that. Yeah. And it's always heartbreaking to those who've been trying, time after time. But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. Also, if you just look at last week, there's the South American guy, Junior. He got scammed for like $125,000 worth of skins.
Wow.
And he didn't get he didn't. Valve doesn't help with that, even though that they got some kind of access. He logged into some account, and then through their own browser, they can just trade with the Steam authentication on as well. Like like the tip going around right now is that you have to have your family mode on Steam. So every time you do something on Steam, you have to put in the authentication code, which is incredible. What
I think is quite interesting as well is how quickly community find fixes to stuff. I think the one that kind of dawns to mind is TF2. How, not so much with scamming, but TF2, they have a really bad hacker problem. Like a seriously bad hacker problem. The hackers on TF2, they spit in the faces of the CSGO hackers. Well, they are fucking amateurs. You have TF2 bots plague every single server. And what's happened is now the community have made their own bots, which automatically join a server, detect if there's an aimbot in it, automatically vote to kick the aimbotter, and then leave the server once the guy's gone. That's just fucking incredible. You have this kind of hacker v hacker war where the reality is Valve could just fix it, but of course no one can contact them, so it's a community solution.
It's incredible, actually. I'm totally flabbergasted by that information. Like, what? It's like the YouTuber, I forgot his name, but he makes these potato hacks, and then for every different, you have seen it, right? So for the different places on the different maps, there's like these tripwires, and then like they can't defuse the bombs, and they're gonna jump, and the sensitivity goes inverted or whatever, you know. It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's actually incredible to watch. Tell you what, another entertaining fact is the hackers who make these hacks in other games, for instance Call of Duty, they hunt down like IRL and then force legal action on the hackers. CS:GO, hacks made, who the fuck cares? Just enjoy the wave of other hackers. So
yeah,
they're all probably Russian, so you're not gonna be able to do shit from America. Like
completely. Like, oh my god, there's this guy. He definitely cheats in my matchmaking game, so I'm gonna download some potato hacks, and then I'm gonna get Vac banned. And
that will show him.
Yeah, that'll show him. God damn.
Yeah, he'll fucking regret that one. But yeah, I'll tell you what. We have the title of this stream, or the video, of course, that being a beginner's guide to getting government funding, or an absolute beginner's guide to getting government funding. And well, I think, do you want to lead on that? Or should I open with that one?
Well, I think since it's you who's the main person here, I think you should tell the people what's going on and what the premise of this is.
So the premise is the CIS region, particularly Russia, Ukraine, Bulgaria, Romania, Lithuania, they have these massive tournaments and they have massive funding behind their esports scenes because they can apply and get government funding for their tournaments because esports is recognized as a sport, and so hosting a tournament and being able to do it during quarantine especially is something that just isn't recognized by other tournament or by other sports. For instance, you can't host a football tournament in the middle of quarantine, for instance, but it gives the government and it gives the country a chance to kind of reveal themselves, expose themselves, get the name out there. So what my kind of premise with that is how has that improved and how's that kind of shown in the CIS scene. Now for me, I think the kind of the two really, really big kind of showings for that like very base level support is with Shiro from Gambit Youngsters and with Manizi from Navi Junior. Now, Manizi, he's the youngest ever FPL player. He got in there at like 13. And Shiro, he has been raping any player, any team he's come across while he's been competing. I think even today he went like 36 and something against Cloud9. It was just fucking atrocious, wasn't it? He went out there and he committed war crimes for the most part. But that is essentially the premise. But Puffin, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, it's like there are these talents, you know. Yeah, Gambit Youngsters has been, or Gambit, priorly known as Gambit Youngsters, were like long on the making. Like they have had like the same 4 people in like 2 or 3 years now. Like they went to Copenhagen Games in 2018 and played and got into. I actually think they lost in the final against Esperanto's team, which is just incredible. All they wanted, I can't remember, but you know, they have been underway for a long time and undergoing, and this idea of the government funding means that they can attend way more lands way cheaper in the Russian community and the Russian area, and that's incredible because that's gonna give them such a good grassroots infrastructure to hold events and try and challenge like the better scenes. In this case would be Danish, of course, right now. But yeah, so they have like a different structure than what Denmark do. So in Denmark, for example, we have schools where they teach people. We have boarding schools where people can go for a year and then they have like esport as their subject, whereas others have like gymnastics or football or something. And then they have well-known and recognized players in the top 10 as their teachers on those boarding schools. And you can go further and then take that on high school level as well and do that after classes there. And yeah, Mither was the one who did it in Campus Vejle, which is very well known.
Campus Vejle, they've been in main and advanced pretty much consistently for a good 5 to 6 seasons now. I remember
Yeah.
Peak back when they were going on about it. They were able to we had so many games against them. I think an ex-Peak player is actually playing for them now. So I completely understand. They're a really, really good side considering their ages as well.
Yeah. But just like the premise of the grassroots, that's what's important to build up a great scene and find talent to get on the next level and challenge the good teams internationally.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, I can drink to that.
Yeah.
I can drink to that. So we have another shot of, again, Bulgarian Rakia, Bulgaria's finest coming out here. Tell you what, while I am pouring out this shot, I've actually seen a message in the chat. Someone asked, who's my favourite Middle Eastern dictator? Personally,
What a question.
personally, I'm a fan of Hussein. I think he's kind of the OG who started it. Saddam Hussein, he was just... It's not so much he did anything. Usually it would be Bin Laden. I think 9/11 is quite hard to beat. I think until we see the Empire State Building go down, definitely a fan of Bin Laden. But Hussein, he was, in my opinion, he was like the OG Middle Eastern dictator. But yeah, that's it. Anyway, bottoms up to that.
Yeah, bottoms up.
Bulgarian Rakia.
Yeah,
Lovely.
It's fucking. Oof.
Sinks in. What?
Apropos Bin Laden, I saw the South Park South Park episode with Bin Laden where the boys got sent a goat from Afghanistan and they traveled to Afghanistan to deliver the goat back because they couldn't have it anywhere. And then they got captured by Bin Laden, and dude, that entire like episode is just a mess.
Yeah, that pretty much sums up South Park as a whole and as a kind of fact, as a way to get your information on the Middle East. But as we were going from there, CIS funding from governments. Now, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but fuck cares. Recently I was signed on to cast a CS Cup, that being the a Ukrainian-based cup, and the issue behind it is that there's in the qualifiers there's about 8 or so teams. Now again, qualifiers 8 or so teams. All right. Now bear in mind it's government funded. I'm paid a little above caster's minimum wage for the kind of level I am. How much do you think the prize pool is?
Well, it's government
give you a bit
funding.
more information as well to make it easier for you.
Okay.
I'm currently you've seen my schedule. I'm signed up to 1 cup. That's the first cup. There's 10 cups in total with a LAN final at the end. How much do you think the prize pool is for the LAN final?
Oof. Yeah, and it's government funded. Okay, so I would say maybe 20k per cup. They get prize money at the cup, right?
25k per cup. The LAN final's 500k.
Oh, what?
Exactly.
That's like
this
big
is a
tournament.
This is a tournament that no one's... I mentioned this to a caster friend of mine who is a lot more involved than I am. He's a lot more well known. He does all the German casts. And I essentially said, it could just be the fucking Germans hiding stuff from the British again. It wouldn't be the first time. Again, it was... He just hadn't heard of it. It's actually just come out of nowhere. Essentially, they've had a premise. They've had initial funding. They've applied for government funding. They've come straight in. And the Ukrainian government just, like, tripled their prize pool. And... like, that's just insane in my opinion. Like, we've got the contracts back, and they are like signed as if it was a government document. Like they've got seal, stamp, signature. Like it's bear in mind that when me and my subcontractor work with orgs, when it gets signed, it's usually like digital signature by a 20-year-old in his bedroom. But like these are like some fucking serious shit, and this is from a tournament no one's heard of. Like I've spread like the word around. Hey, have you heard of these guys? No one's heard of them. We ended up putting we looked at the qualifiers. There's like 8 teams in there. Like these are like just scraping level 10, 2.2k elo, competing for 25 fucking k. Like anyway, what I was saying is I could drink to that.
Yes.
So,
But do you have to be from the CIS area to attend?
Basic qualifiers, anyone can enter.
What? Okay, I think I'm gonna find myself a mixed team and win.
Yeah,
Holy.
genuinely amazed. Of course, Well, saying another shot, we've got another question in the chat. That being, what's your favourite country in the breakup of Yugoslavia from the 25th of June 1991 to the 28th of April 1992?
Dude,
Personally,
I love the Twitch
I-
chat's questions. Just saying it.
personally, I'm a fan of Slovakia. I think that Slovakia, you see, I was gonna be a fan of Slovenia, but they just weren't my thing. Slovenia just not my thing, but Slovakia, they've kind of got the harder A. They've got the nicer flag, and I suppose they were Czech at one point, and you can't go wrong with Czech, can you? So
I can drink to that.
I tell you what, I can drink to that as well. Now, I feel like this Bulgarian key, I'm losing the feeling in the tips of my fingers, which means that it's working. With that, you got any more thoughts, of course, on this tournament, Puffin?
It's incredible, honestly. Like the
Oh, some
like
beefy
that
shots.
is yeah, but like yeah, there's some man shots, but like the premise and like the fact that it's even a possibility is absolutely astonishing to me. Like it's such a great opportunity for younger players and for up and coming players and for established players to just come in and then try and find the best talent to develop it and help the scene and help the entire CS:GO like landscape to evolve and elevate their gameplay on the grassroots level, which is absolutely amazing. And like, what was the tournament called? Because this is the first time hearing of it.
The UCFA, the Ukrainian something association something.
Okay.
Based in Ukraine.
Yeah.
I don't have a clue what it's about or how it's based. I just know that there's a big fucking prize pool, and I've got to cast some long days. But hey, I'm down to do it because it looks like I'm gonna have some fun games to cast. This is gonna be a separate rant about casting, so feel free to cut me off whenever. But like the difference between casting tier 1, tier 2 CS and casting like tier 3-T4 is fucking diabolical. Like we have open qualifier tournaments are usually there's like a very 50-50 if you're going to enjoy casting the game or not, because if you have to cast just retards running around corners like praying they can hit someone, it can get really boring to cast because you end up just having to slip into the same kind of what we call them like crux phrases where you have to constantly say the same thing. It's like a phrase that you feel comfortable saying, so you fall back on it when you don't have anything to say. So a lot of casters say, by the skin of their teeth, for instance.
Yeah.
It's a phrase that I've now completely avoided like the plague because I know other casters use it as a crux statement. But it's like, oh, they've got him by the skin of their teeth, and by the skin of their teeth they win the round, and by the skin of and they keep using that phrase because it's one they feel comfortable with. If the game is boring, then you're constantly going to have to be using that sort of phrase. However, you also have qualifiers where you have you have teams that think, I know, we're the next Furia. If a round goes to 40 seconds left, then we've not done our job and we've lost the round. Where they just bomb it out on sight, no matter what. And you have like a really quick game finished in 20 minutes. Those are like the caster's dream. I fucking love those games because you get entertaining casts, you get entertaining plays, and usually you have a guy at the front who's like an aim star, who's just an utter talent. It will go around doming kids like it's his fucking career, even though it's like a very small tournament. But that's my thought, at least. Anyway, I really, really appreciate anyone who plays a fast play style and qualifiers. You're really a pleasure to cast. But,
also, just a quick shout out to Furia, who was basically the ones who made it mainstream. Because Jesus, dude, I've seen so many Furia demos, and when I played on teams, you know, I would always want to take stuff from them because it's way more fun to play that way. You know, even though it's not the traditional Danish way of playing Counter-Strike, it was way more fun to play that way.
Absolutely, so, and tell you what, I can drink to that. So
yes, cheers.
Fun fact about Rakia. It tastes fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
but,
I agree. You know, I tried.
We need more Disaronno as well.
Yeah, I tried Rakia once at like a Christmas party with my old co-workers, and there was this guy. He has a lot of Bulgarian friends, and his friends brought home some home-brewed Rakia with him to the party, and man, I have never been so hammered in my entire life. I vomited on the floor, and I fucking got the wrong jacket when I went home, and I ordered like a taxi and paid like 40 quid getting home, and Jesus Christ, I couldn't even get into my apartment because I had the wrong jacket.
I'll be real with you, Puffin. I don't know if I'm gonna last this podcast. I tell you what, we have a message before we continue the topic. We've got a message. Who can drink the most the quickest? I'll tell you what, I've just finished pouring a glass of Disaronno, which is about the same. It's a bit stronger than beer, but fuck it, I'm a fat guy.
You know what? What? I'm gonna open a new one.
We're gonna race. Who can finish the glass? Who can finish the beer?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'm ready.
3, 2, 1. Let's try.
Oh man, there's so little left.
I tell you what, I'm glad you tried.
Yeah,
I appreciate the fact you tried.
Well, if I had it in a glass, it would be way easier.
you may have to carry me through the rest of this podcast because I can still pour myself a drink, which means we can keep going. But
we're like 26 minutes in, and you're already hammered.
I'm not hammered, but I think we're getting there. I'm at the point where I can't actually hear my voice, but I can feel it. You know that phrase where like, you know what I mean, right? Where you can feel your own voice. Yeah, that's what kind of phrase I'm at. Yeah, we'll be fine.
We're fine. Well,
the answer in the chat though is I can drink the most the quickest.
Yes.
I'm kind of disappointed in you for doubting me for a second there, but yes. Right.
Oh my god. So let's go on to like, now we've talked about the CAS and the development. Shouldn't we talk about maybe tournaments going into 2021?
Oh, tournaments 2021. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a little bit to say on this. If you want to, do you want to start? Because I feel like I may go on a little bit of a rant.
I think you have more insight than I do. So to keep yourself awake at this point, I think you should go on your rant, and then I'll follow up.
Okay. So tournaments in 2021. Right. My main issue with them is that a lot of them have been. So the main tournament organizers going into 2021, for at least my level of casting, is going to be EDC, which is the European Development Championship, Relog Media, and ESL. So you've got ESL Prem, which is going to run no matter what. You've got EDC and Relog. Now, in my opinion, EDC and Relog, they're kind. I don't think they'd have got the attention they have if LANs were on, because they've been taking place at the times that minors and majors would have been taking place. That lack of CS is the reason they've been getting so much attention. So I think from that's been where their kind of quality has shined, simply because they were the ones to watch out for. And don't get me wrong, they've done a really fucking good job. Like, they've hosted some sick tournaments, and it's a meme that Relog always goes to overtime. And the reality is, as a player, it's shit to play because everyone hates playing overtime. As a caster, it's shit to cast because you have to talk for an extra like half hour. But for a viewer, it's fucking incredible watching overtimes because they're close as fuck. You get to enjoy the game, and you get to just live it. However, from a caster's perspective, my opinion is incredibly biased, and you shouldn't listen to it. But fuck overtimes. Like, if there's ever a tournament that accepts draws, I am fucking signing up like it's nothing, because
you should work for Blast. Do you remember the original Blast events? They had ties.
I should work for Blast. They were fucking incredible. I tell you what, though, I'm too shit for Blast. But one day I'll cast a Blast.
Mark my words.
I probably won't. But I tell you what, one day I will. I've just been told you have the liver of an elephant on steroids in the top percentile while training 25 hours a day while high on meth. Is that a compliment? I think it's a compliment. But anyway, as I was saying, Blast is good. Fuck everything else. Overtime shit to cast, amazing to watch. Issue is though, now I'm a caster, I watch all these different tournaments play, and I just feel sorry for them. Like, I watch all these tournaments where I guess like it's a triple, quadruple overtime. I feel sorry for the casters who are watching it. They're trying their best to hype it up, but like, it's just poor guys. They're trying their best. But yeah, what's your thoughts on overtimers? You're more of a viewer than a caster, aren't you?
I'm more of a viewer and a player than a caster, honestly. And
Yeah,
I
exactly.
actually enjoy overtimes because it gives the tension and it gives some extra dynamic and some extra, investment into the game, some more immersion. You feel like you're more invested into it, and it gives you this perspective and
We've
this
got a message from
feeling.
Vortex saying
Yeah.
"fuck overtimes." There we go. Exactly, Vortex.
Oh my
Fuck overtimes. I tell you what, I can drink to that. Let's have another shot of fucking Rick here.
Yeah,
Get it
cheers.
in. Yeah.
Get in.
God, I am like losing feeling in my hands. So because
Oh.
of that, this shot is a little bit more than a shot. But for Vortex, you can have a massive shot. Zach, I've seen DMs. I just don't have the quality to reply to it. The likelihood is I can't cast Uni League because I'm drunk as fuck. But I tell you what, I can drink to that as
Cheers.
well. So
Cheers.
bottoms up. Oh.
Tell you what, I'm gonna do some refills soon, actually.
You need more. Oh,
God
fucking hell.
damn. Yeah, well, I'm
Clearly
not.
clearly not prepared for this.
No, because I'm not like you. I have like a fan in the background in my bed. And you have like just fucking liquor and
I have
like
liquor.
tons
Yep.
of liquor.
But what he's referring to is this: we have all the liquor in the world. I guarantee you, we will not run out of booze. But I don't think we'll last. I don't know how long we've been doing this for, but fuck it, let's keep continuing. What topic are we on again?
Lands going into tournaments
Lands
going
going
in.
into Lands going
tournaments.
into 2020. Tournaments
Yeah.
going into 2021.
Yes.
Right. My worry is that tournaments that do a series of cups constantly with HLTV coverage, like Relog, like EDC, my worry is that come minors and majors, they might not have the same attention that they get with if there are minors and majors to compete with. Because I think Relog, they had their 9 to 5 series that covered straight over the time that the major was going on, or would have been going on if it wasn't for COVID. My
Yeah.
worry is that if they were to continue going on, would they get the same viewership and would they get the same numbers? Which is, of course, for sponsor placement, all they care about is numbers.
Yeah.
If you were to get that same, would they be able to get the same sponsor placement if there was a major going on?
Not at all. Not at all. Not at all. No
Exactly.
one like it's the same. That's why that, for example, EDC has put out so many cups recently, because they and even past throughout 2020 they have put out 8 cups or something, and
Yep.
it's because of the lack of majors and minors, and it has allowed them to see teams like MIBR and Complexity, when they started out joining those cups, which was something that would not have happened if it wasn't for COVID. So
Yep.
they have really gotten a lot of, this is a bubble they are in right now while COVID is going on, and they should just keep on monetizing all they can until COVID is gone, or the vaccines are in, or whatever, and lands are back, and then when the lands are back, they should not, I repeat, they should not expect to have this much success. Even if the success is 4K viewers or 10K, 12K, but no. Definitely.
Credit where credit is due for Relog, though.
Yeah.
For being able to host that many tournaments that have gone kind of that well. Again, even though it's kind of a meme that they constantly get overtime, for a viewer, that's fucking great. They get constant entertainment, they got the pressure of overtime.
Also,
we've got a actually quick question. We've got a message from the chat to you, Puffin, from Vortex Entertainment. Why is your hair no longer blue?
Dude, mate, bro, I got so much hate for it in real life. My grandma told me I was ugly. It was bad. It was really bad.
Why is your hair no longer blue? My grandma told me I was ugly. Hey, fair enough.
You don't want to hear that from your grandma, Jesus.
I don't have a follow. I tell you what, I can drink to that. I can drink to that.
Yeah.
So, bottoms up, Puffin. That is just. My grandma told me I was ugly.
Yeah.
Me.
Quote of the year, right?
That's a quote of the year I've ever heard. Tell you what, Kieran, I think you're the one behind the Vortex Entertainment account. You're gonna have to remind me what I said, and then tell me if it's okay to publish tomorrow, or if I should split the pod. But bottoms up.
Yeah, bottoms up. Cheers. It's gonna be fucking amazing.
I think I ended up wearing half of that shot, but that's okay. Ah,
All right.
so we're
Do you
fine.
want
We're
do you
fine.
want to do the tweet for a twat now? Just
Tweet for a twat, yeah.
yes.
The greatest. I tell you what, you'd be proud of my spontaneity. Tell you what, Puffin. He
Yeah.
put me on the spot to say, "Can you name our competition for predicting games?" I went, "Fuck it, sure." I came up with the best name ever: a tweet for a twat. So,
Let's just go through the premise once more.
there we
So
go. Okay, so
you can
you
do
want
it.
to explain it? All right. So, a tweet for a twat is a competition I have with Puffin where we take a upcoming major tournament, not a major because that's not ever gonna fucking happen, but like a fairly fairly big tournament at the time, and we have to come up with predictions for each game. Now, last I checked, I was 4-3 up, but there was
Yes.
still about 3 or 4 games left to go. In a tweet for a twat. I believe at the end, the winner gets to tweet something from the other's Twitter accounts. It can be anything they want, so long as it won't get them sacked for any job they have. But that's the premise of it. Do you have the results with you, Puffin?
I'm trying to find it right now. It was for the Blast Premier Fall, and
It was for the blast from. Well, that's the. That's the thing we're after. Yes.
yes,
I
and
can, thumbs up,
yeah, cheers, man. Okay, so
Yeah.
what we went for was for us to predict the winner. And wait, did I
The winner.
get the wrong one? Let's
Don't
see.
forget that the winner.
Oh yeah, I got. Wait. Oh, that's the. Oh, it's the showdown. Yeah. Wait. I got it here. Best Premier Fall Showdown. Okay. Oh my. There it is. Okay. So. First and oh yeah. Okay, here it's here.
Yes.
So
Okay.
you predicted. We both predicted heroic to
Yep.
win the event.
Yep.
And your outsider was, oh yeah, well it's top 2 who goes to the Blast Fall finals, but you predicted for Furia as well.
Yep.
And I predicted for Virtus Pro, and Virtus Pro ended the same way as heroic. So yeah, you have basically won because you were up 4-3 while we did the predictions, and Furia went first and second. So yes, you can do whatever tweet you want from mine.
I can drink to that.
So yes, the first winner of a tweet for a twat is Kremer.
What a
Sweet.
what a day it is. It's
What a sweet victory and a tremendous
Sweet.
loss for
sweet
me.
victory. Yes, yeah, it must be fucking awful to lose a tweet for it. So I'd be fucking depressed if I was you.
Yeah.
So limits are I can't get sacked from a job. You're in uni. Do you have a job at the moment, Puffin?
Only at like a Danish retail store. It's a quite big one, but no, they don't.
They won't check your Twitter.
You can honestly tweet whatever you want, because I do not have any boundaries. I don't have any NDA or anything. You can say that I'm a neo-Nazi, and I won't delete it. Like,
I have some. I will think of something, probably to do with the war crimes of Azerbaijan against Armenia, in the recent kind of conflict between. I should tell you what, to diverge from CS completely. Do you know what's happened between these two countries?
No, please enlighten me.
Fuck you, incredible. So essentially, there's a area in the middle of the two countries. So you've got kind of like Turkey up here, you've got Armenia here, then Azerbaijan here. Now, to start things off, Turkey fucking hates Armenia. So around World War One, like the early 1900s, there was something called the Armenian Genocide, where the Turks, they essentially got a bunch of Armenians and they marched them to death. Bit of a shit thing to do, to be honest. They clearly hadn't heard of human rights at the time, but they were the Ottoman Empire at the time. So
yeah, exactly.
They kind of went, fuck it, I can do it because we can. And the Armenians went, okay. Well, granted, they were at gunpoint, but no one cares about that. They ended up walking till they died, essentially, and it was 1 million Armenians that were killed by the Turks. But you fucking see who, it's hundreds of years ago, no one cares.
Yeah.
Right. Nowadays, to this day, Turkey denies it ever happened, which is a bit of a cunt thing to do. I think even Australia admits to their war crimes, and they only killed 40 people. Fucking amateurs. But anyway, so we end up traveling to modern day. You got Azerbaijan, you've got Armenia. Now, there's an area in the middle of these two countries, which is called the region of dispute. I don't know. It's got a weird name in either whatever language they speak in Azerbaijan. And essentially, Azerbaijan shot missiles at Armenia, and then went, Armenia, why did you attack us? And they declared war on Armenia. Armenia went, what the fuck, okay, and started invading. And so Armenia was backed by Russia, because Russia doesn't like Turkey, and Turkey was backing Azerbaijan. And so you ended up with this weird, fucking proxy war between the two of them. And they ended up butting heads in the middle. And these two countries ended up in a pretty fierce bit of combat. Kind of for the last 6 weeks or so. It ended I think it ended last week or the week before. Good idea, Puffin. I can drink to that as well.
Yes,
drink to the peaceful revolution. The two countries who fucking hate one another.
When you're done with that, I have cheers.
Mm.
When you're done with that, I have something funny that I thought of when
Right.
when you mentioned Azerbaijan.
Right. Okay, so Azerbaijan, they ended up they were like, okay, this is get fucking ridiculous. We're being raped by Armenia and Russia. I know. Who can we call? Who's got experience in the Middle East? Who's good at fighting? I know, ISIS. So Azerbaijan got ISIS fighters to travel up through Iran into Azerbaijan, where they ended up fighting on behalf of Azerbaijan against the Armenians. They realized that wasn't enough, so they also got Turkey's help, but of course Turkey fucking hates Armenians, so it just kind of goes without saying. Essentially, with Azerbaijan and Armenia fighting, Armenia backed by Russia. Russia couldn't fully commit to it because they were too busy dealing with the dictatorship in Belarus. That's where their kind of main force was. So Armenia, they started fighting back. Sounds like they ended up taking this region that was contested. So to give you a bit of history of this region that was contested, it was owned, its culture and its people are Armenian, but it's owned by Azerbaijan. So the area was originally taken by Armenia. Then Azerbaijan, well, let's say Azerbaijan, we both know it's Turkey.
Yeah.
So Turkey fought back and overthrew it. And from there, they couldn't really do anything, to be honest, because Turkey has a bigger force, all that, fancy shit. So they kind of went, fuck it. And they ended up surrendering. Kremer did do this mic test. That is true. I did do a mic test explaining the conflict between Armenia and Azerbaijan. But tell you what, that was like a long fucking mic test. So you're lucky strawberries. I'll tell you what, I could drink to that.
Yes, let's drink to that.
Yes, alright. Yes, bottoms up. Yeah.
Dude, I'm fucking feeling it now, man. Jesus Christ.
Alright. You're only drinking beer? Something a bitch. Right,
Shut the fuck up.
So we've got Armenia and Azerbaijan. They don't hate each other. They hate each other. And so essentially, after all that time of them fighting, Armenia essentially went, okay, we can't fight against two fronts at the same time. Russia isn't giving us enough help. Right. Azerbaijan, you can have that region. We'll back away. We surrender. Now, this ceasefire was enforced by Germany. Ceasefire was I think the ceasefire lasted about 45 minutes. Essentially, the Azerbaijani soldiers shot an Armenian, and then went, Armenia, you're breaking the the ceasefire rules. And then essentially Armenia went, oh, but you shot us. And Azerbaijan went, look, you're breaking it again. And so Armenia went, fuck it, alright, we're back at war. And so they kept fighting, there was more fighting. Essentially Azerbaijan then went, Armenia, you're committing war crimes by torturing and shooting wounded soldiers, and Armenia went, that's not very nice. Here's video evidence of you doing the exact same thing. You haven't got any proof we've done this. You're just throwing out accusations. And Azerbaijan kind of went, fuck off. So Armenia kind of released all that evidence, whatever. Yes, I fucking drink to that.
Yeah, drink to that, man.
War crimes are kind of cringe. So anyway, that all happened, and then After all the kind of arguments between these two countries, we then had Armenia. They realized they can't win against Turkey and Azerbaijan. They're just going to keep having losses, and Azerbaijan are clearly the Geneva Convention. They clearly piss on. So
Yeah, definitely, man.
yeah,
like
absolutely.
this entire thing is just
yeah, it's like poor civilian city. I know, chemical weapons. No, I think they would use it if they had
Wuhan.
them.
Oh wait.
Yeah. So essentially, Armenia surrendered. Instantly after Armenia surrendered, the entire country went into fucking protests. So like, fuck it, we can keep fighting. The government was like, bitch, we're gonna lose, and the entire populace is like, we'll be fine. So that all happens, and then yeah, so essentially, I guess the victor in the war is Azerbaijan, but I say Azerbaijan in the sense that they reclaimed the land they originally lost at the start of the war, so nothing really happened. It was just to kind of fight for the sake of fighting. So that's what happens between the two countries. Personally, I think that Armenia should have won, but I give a very, very... I've got a message in the chat saying, big up my Armenian brothers. Fucking God bless. God fucking bless. They deserve to do well. So I can drink to that.
Yes,
Yeah,
let's drink to that.
Yes,
Cheers.
yeah. That's it. Drink to our Armenian brothers who are fucking shot at the hands of...
Is your
fucking though.
wait, how much is the bag? How much is left in your rakia bottle?
We're down to this much. We've actually we're down to about here, so we've drank a little bit.
Yeah, like half of it.
Bulgaria. Yeah, wait. I'll drink to that.
Cheers, cheers.
Mm.
So, I have a couple of things. So, what this like? Okay, this does not remind me of it at all. But something funny that happened back in 2017, I think, was the most peaceful war ever between Denmark and Germany. No, sorry, not Germany. Sorry, America or Canada, with the fight over that fucking island between Greenland and Canada, where whoever just comes there removes the other person's flag and then puts in their own flag, which would be the Danish or the Canadian flag.
Right.
And then whoever's on that island, like there's no citizens there. So it's just literally just a claim of whoever gets there owns the island, basically. And there's no international conflict at all. It's like a peaceful war that's been happening for like 120 years. Like it's just whenever someone goes to the island, a new flag is getting planted, you know. And the second thing is like when you like mentioned Azerbaijan, right? I couldn't stop thinking about the 2012 Eurovision, if you follow that at all.
Nope. But
okay, let me enlighten you then. So
right.
So what happens is in 2012 Eurovision, there's this Azerbaijan, the one person who won in Azerbaijan was a dude.
Yep.
With a beard, but he had long hair and he was dressed like a woman. So it's called the bearded woman won the Eurovision of 2012 from Azerbaijan. I just couldn't fucking think of
that
everything.
Is essentially,
it's
Azerbaijan, they have it, folks. They're bearded women.
Yeah.
Fuck Azerbaijan. All my homies hate I can drink to fucking.
Dude, like the beard. Trust me, dude. The beard, like it was so fucking clean, man. It like mine is nothing compared to hers. And the guy, the person.
I'm losing track.
Yeah. The person's was called Neuwirth, N-E-U Worth, W-I-R-T-H. You know, and it's just what, you know. Oh yeah, just to mention it. You know, Eurovision, I feel like it's a very, you know, it's something that a lot of Danish families like, with the concept of hygge. If it's a very Danish thing, it's well known, where like it's basically, you know, chilling with your family, but you know, having fun with them, and you know, something like Eurovision and then like classical like stage performance. It assembles like theater, but it's called revue in Danish. And that's basically what you watch, and then like old 60s movies.
Right.
So you know, almost all of the older generation in Denmark is totally invested in this Eurovision. And the thing is, like, the premise of Eurovision is that you can't vote in your own country, but everyone else can. But you can vote on everyone else, and that's the premise of everything. So Denmark is in a lucky spot when they're so invested because they can actually vote, like they can receive more votes than they can give out, you know. But yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna take a moment to quickly apologize for ending the stream. I don't know which button I pressed or how I did it, but I did it. I don't know how long we've been offline for, but I can drink to that, Puffin. I can drink to that.
So we're back live.
We're back live now, but that's
The bot still has it, bro. So don't worry.
okay. So okay,
Ask the chat. How much did you miss? Like, where did it end?
where did it end, chat? I want to know. Oh, I've actually muted my mic as well, so they haven't heard me at all.
Wait,
okay,
so
now
you didn't hear the story of the...
No, they heard you, they just didn't hear me.
Oh, alright.
For those who are watching, how long have we been, how much did you miss, I think is the, let's phrase them after. How much did you miss? I definitely think that they probably missed fair bits. We skipped over Danish Eurovision and how Azerbaijan are laughable and how they're just bearded women, and
maybe the war
what
between Armenia and Azerbaijan.
I think that part. I think they got the war between Azerbaijan and Armenia, because personally, I'm definitely in the boat of Armenia. I think that's a bit biased. That's a bit obviously biased, but fuck it, who cares? I personally think, as a very drunk Englishman, the fact that Turkey are backing Azerbaijan instantly makes me back Armenia. Yeah, I'll tell you what, topic of proxy wars. What's your favorite proxy war, Puffin?
Dude, I didn't think we would go this historical, but I like the conflict in New York and New Jersey that happened in the early 1800s with the famine of the Irish people, and then the Chinese people getting in, and then just you know, the divide and conquer of, you know, you can argue that that is a war, you know, that the Irish people just create their own fucking society in New York, and then the Chinese people are in Chinatown and they have their own rules because fuck the government and fuck the police, and you know, this entire thing, you know, I fucking love it. And also, fun fact, if you didn't know, there's this HBO series called Warrior, who, like, where it all is in there. It's from that time, the story, and it's mostly about the Chinese and the Irish against each other, and then just the Americans just sidelines them in their conquest of getting jobs and how Chinatown works and stuff. You know, it's super interesting. Not very. I don't know if it's historically accurate, but it's very, very fun to watch, at least.
I tell you what, Vietnam, I think for me is the best proxy war, certainly because that war had the best soundtrack, I think, personally.
Fucking Americans, bro.
I feel like a lot of people listen to the war, like other wars. World War II, World War One, that was just depressing.
Yeah.
World War II, there was a bunch of movies made.
Yeah.
But Vietnam, that one, that had like, I was in World War Vietnam. Fucking hell.
But like the world...
Vietnam, that had the most entertainment, the best soundtrack, without a doubt.
Well, it's because fucking Jimi Hendrix made this worldwide known fucking guitar solo about it, where he made it sound like bombs were dropping on his fucking guitar, you know, like...
That guy, Jimi Hendrix and the Rolling Stones, single-handedly made that. Tell you what, like, I feel bad for the Rolling Stones. Like, you know when they sang Shelter, right? You know how there's like a woman in it who screams like rape, murder, and all that shit. She sung so hard she had a miscarriage. Like, I feel like, imagine the Rolling Stones had to make every single album after that thinking, shit, we literally caused a woman to have a miscarriage. Are our songs that shit? Because they're all high as fuck when they made those songs. So it's not like they actually, it's not like they actually had a chance to like reason with themselves and go, we made us sing quite hard. No. They've got their kind of standard selves who are thinking, fuck. And so, fucking rips a Rolling Stone. I don't know if they're still alive, but fuck, I can drink to that.
Yeah, let's drink to that. Let's drink to that. Cheers. I'll tell you what. Do you remember a popular song in 2016 or 15 with Rihanna and Mick Jagger?
Which one?
what was it called? Wait, I'll just find out real quick.
Yeah.
Mick Jagger song. Wait, I'm googling it. It's with Kanye West. 4 or 5 seconds.
Oh, right. I'm gonna say all right. Not a fucking clue, but all right. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, it's basically this song like where it's Mick Jagger's playing on this guitar and it's the only instrument, and it's just very slow paced, like something. Yeah,
Yeah.
you know. and then you have fucking Mick Jagger, going from Rolling Stones getting like women to abort their children when they hear the music to this fucking thing, and then it's like before Kanye hit Rihanna, like and all the memes that happen from there. But it's just this very very mainstream. Like, let's see, I can see it right here. Like, it has like 459 million views on YouTube. It's very mainstream from 2015, and it's just this fucking song where Mick Jagger plays the guitar, and then Kanye West and Rihanna just sings, and then Mick Jagger suddenly gets in there, and then you look at this 80s rock idol, and then you see him doing this shit, and like, what's going on, right?
Yeah.
Like, how?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, didn't you listen to radio in 2015, man? Like, how can you?
I'm young as fuck. What do you mean?
And then you sit here lecturing me about Azerbaijan and the First World War and.
I've never, honestly. So something I actually proposed to Vortex a while back was that radio's dying out, right? They spend millions every year on advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I'll tell you what's interesting is that if you're gonna spend millions on advertisement, you might as well if you're gonna spend millions on advertisement, you might as well commit to it. They spend millions on advertisement. So was the Vortex, Vortex Entertainment. We did, I don't know what tournaments we did in the past, but we do some tournaments with our profile. Yeah, it's like all verified and all that shit. But when Vortex was we offered to radio companies. So you know how, as we're talking, we've got a smooth jazz playlist on YouTube playing. I'm gonna turn it up quickly on the stream just so they can all hear the smooth jazz. We're playing this in the background while we like do this shit. All right, my reasoning is, I just had a Steam message go. That's like a thing that's come up. But yeah, so I'll quickly turn down the jazz because I can't help myself think because I'm too drunk for that. Okay, let me know if you need the jazz to be turned up or not. What was I saying? Oh, radios and jazz.
And advertisement.
Yes, so with Vortex, radio's dying out. Everyone knows that. Everyone's sick of hearing DJs because they're shit cunts and like all they want to hear is the music. But what's the point of hearing the music if they just play mainstream stuff? Just go to fucking Spotify. Essentially, DJs are dying out, so is radio. So when I was with Vortex, we offered an avenue for radio in the sense that they should start investing into esports. The idea being that when you're on every single esports channel, you view like a 15 minutes of pre-game. You just get a radio station, slap that shit on there. Yeah. Listen to a fucking radio channel for a good 15 minutes before the game starts. You get 15 minutes of if you sign with like Blast, for instance, you get 15 minutes of advertising, 23,000 viewers guaranteed. All right, in a kind of area where the only people who can listen to you is business people in their car who couldn't give a fuck about what you say, like.
And maybe you find new audience as well,
Exactly, because radio is fucking dying out. No one gives a shit what those cunts have to say, because let's be honest, they're boring cunts.
Oh, Kremer, can you entertain the chat for a second? I have to go pee real quick. Okay. So I'll be right back.
I'm going to entertain the chat, and in order to do that, I'm going to bring you to light. I'm going to entertain you about. Fuck, now I've been put on the spot. It's kind of difficult to do. I'll tell you what. Life in the universe is probably out there. Let's be honest. Like, fucking hell. Where else was I going with that? That's fuck life in the universe. That's a shit topic to start on. Let's go with something else. Computers. I can do those computers, right? So I currently have a 600-700K with a 1080. That's pretty fucking shit for casting. Let's be honest here. I need to try and host games while streaming them, because so you can tell the difference between a good TO and a TO that's kind of cheapskating based on how much you're spending on production. Now, usually, you want 50% of your funding to go to production, 50% on prize pool. So if you see a production if you see a tournament of any kind, just assume that the amount they've spent on production is about half the price. If it is the prize pool, right? So you look at Blast, they've spent about 20k on the prize pool. You should assume that 20k has been spent on production. Now, personally, I believe that I should be employed for Blast, but no. Personally, all right, that's 20k. I don't know what specs I need for the newer cast for a newer PC per se, in order to get a decent level of broadcast quality. Well, oh, that was about 90% vomit, 90% cast, but while casting. Tell you what, we've got Puffin who's back here. He can talk about casting PCs and PCs in general. So, Puffin, as a man who currently needs to upgrade his PC, what do you recommend I go to?
Well, I would definitely recommend the like the Nvidia 20 series is a scam, and for especially CS:GO, yeah, cheers to that, please.
Ugh.
They made the
At what point do I stop drinking? It's probably the point I start losing consciousness, so we can keep going just a little bit longer.
Yeah, we can keep going, yeah. So what I would say is, if you lose the 20 series is a scam, basically. Like it increases performance from the 10 series, and when you look at the 30 series, it's actually quite cheaper than the 20 series was, and the performance is significantly better. So for, let's say you want to host and stream Counter-Strike tournaments, then you want the best processor you can get for your money, and then the graphics card should be secondary. And that's and then have minimum of 16 RAMs. 32 would be nice. Oh,
this is off DDR4, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I just need to charge my headset real quick, because I can hear that it is losing power. Yes. Okay.
So while Puffin's charging, so that should be a reason to end the stream and end the broadcast for tonight. I hope you guys all have a wonderful, wonderful day. While Puffin's put his headset back on, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give him the cue to end the recording while I end the stream at the exact same time. So when he uploads it to YouTube, it isn't fucked. But, yeah. Right. So I'm now gonna give a dramatic outro. So thank you guys, everyone, so much for listening to the stream and to the broadcast. I'm sorry for the incoherent speech that's come out of my mouth and out of Puffin's, because he's drunk as fuck. But regardless, thank you so much for listening. I'll tell you what, Puffin. Is that the only beer you have open?
Oh, yeah, it's the only one I have open, yeah. Okay. There's not much left.
I'll race you to drinking the entire content of it. So bottoms up, and we can end the stream on this. All right.
Yeah. There's nothing left. GG.
Right.
Thank you.
GG, yeah. Thank you everyone so much for watching the broadcast. I'm now going to go pass out because Bulgarian Rakira is stronger than I once thought.
Yep.
By the way, as my respective opinion from one adult to another, shit, don't touch it. Unless of course you want to get drunk, then fucking touch it, because that shit is fucking, to be honest.
I fucking
Bulgarian
agree.
Rakia, that is my poison, ladies and gentlemen. If you see me drinking this on another podcast, it means I'm gonna get shit faced. I'm gonna head to bed. I think Puffin's gonna go head to rehab. So we'll see you guys all in a bit. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.
See you, man.